Running Back Nation, what is good? Sixers sickos, what is good? We got some things to talk about. We're going to talk about some Buddy Hield stuff. We're going to talk about what the Sixers are planning to do with him to try to bring back, I believe, some cap space or some pieces they could turn into some cap space to inevitably fill that power forward slot that is their main target right now. And yes, there's a conversation on the internet about Ben Simmons. And I wasn't going to do this, but it has to be done. But first, this is brought to you by BETUS.
BETUS, America's favorite sportsbook and casino. Live betting and racebook. We're celebrating 30 years with a historic offer. A 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. Plus 10% gambler's insurance. Get started today. BETUS, where the game begins.
Yeah, we're over on the BETUS website. And right here under NBA Specials, there's a whole Bronny James category right now. You can bet on Bronny James. Yeah, the Lakers, after getting swept twice in 2 years, did absolutely nothing but sign LeBron James, 40-year-old LeBron James, to a 2-year max contract, and gave his son, who averaged 5 points per game in college, a guaranteed contract. He's the first ever number 55 overall pick to get a guaranteed contract without having to earn a roster spot. So there's serious politics going on over with the Lakers, and they are running their franchise into the ground by adhering to this LeBron James, Bronny James thing. It's ridiculous. But there's a whole category here on BETUS. Bronny James to score 25-plus points in a single game next season, plus 2,800. The odds are ridiculously against him because he is undersized, not a great shooter, not a good facilitator, he's just not good. Come on, bro. That's over on BETUS. You can get a 125% deposit bonus on your first 3 deposits, up to $2,000, and 10% gambler's insurance by using the link in my description. Thank you to BETUS for sponsoring the channel. Okay, here we go. The Golden State Warriors are in serious talks on a sign-and-trade deal to acquire Buddy Hield, league sources tell The Athletic and Stadium. Warriors and 76ers have been in deep discussions working to finalize the deal for one of the NBA's best three-point shooters. So, after the Sixers made the signings that they made, Buddy Hield is an unrestricted free agent. Buddy Hield does not have to do the 76ers any favors by signing a deal and getting traded. I don't think this is really a conversation between Buddy Hield and the Sixers. I think this is a conversation between Buddy Hield, the Warriors, and the Sixers. And, probably, hey, buddy, this is how you're going to get the most money. This is how you're going to get the lengthiest contract, is to sign and trade. It has a lot to do with the salary cap and aprons and things like that, whereas the 76ers would just lose. They would just gain nothing by him walking away, whereas if they sign and trade, they can either clear cap space or bring back players that match that cap space and trade those players. And the Warriors, same situation, not a lot of money to work with, but the Warriors definitely want to replace Klay Thompson, and they're thinking, I guess, that Buddy Hield and Steph Curry on the same team could be a lethal combination, and maybe they're right about that. And probably signing and trading for Buddy Hield under contract under the Philly is better cap-wise for the Warriors than trying to sign him outright. Now, and I'm not into the intangibles of what exactly this does or what a sign and trade would exactly do as far as the first apron and the second apron and the salary cap go. It gives me a headache. I'm not a salary cap expert. I'm not a mathematician. All right, but I do know this. This is from John Hollinger from The Athletic. He says, if the Golden State Warriors send Gio Santos to Philadelphia and sign second-round pick Quentin Post to a rookie minimum deal, that leaves them about $14 million under the tax apron for Buddy Hield. But the only way I can see to import him at that salary is to incorporate Hield and Kyle Anderson into the same sign-and trade that sent Klay Thompson outbound, turning it into a 5-team mega trade between Charlotte, Dallas, Minnesota, Golden State, and Philadelphia. Why Santos? Philadelphia acquiring him into cap space would mean the Sixers could aggregate him into a trade immediately. That perhaps would allow them to combine his salary and Paul Reed's salary to acquire a player not attainable with Reed's salary alone, such as Cleveland's Karis LeVert or Sacramento's Kevin Huerter. Yes. If that gave you a headache, it gave me a headache too, but basically the Sixers could use a Buddy Hield sign and trade to end up with more available space to sign a player that they need than they would just have with Paul Reed's contract. So expect Paul Reed to also be traded in a deal like this or a separate deal or a deal before this or whatever. But there you have it. Now, I'm not sure why they said Karis LeVert or Kevin Huerter, because I think Dorian Finney-Smith is what the Sixers are looking for, is who the Sixers are going after at the power forward position. If the Sixers trade Buddy Hield and do all of these things, sign and trade Buddy Hield and do all of these things money-wise, and end up trading for Kevin Huerter or Karis LeVert, like, yeah, I like Kevin Huerter, I like Karis LeVert, but that doesn't do anything for the Sixers. The Sixers now need a veteran point guard, and they need a starting power forward. They need a starting defensive wing, stretch four, like a Dorian Finney-Smith. So the Karis LeVert and Kevin Huerter thing doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but there's the breakdown of why each team would be interested in a Buddy Hield sign and trade here to get them into space under the cap to make some better moves than they could possibly make right now. Hope that explains that for you. As sad as I would be to watch Buddy Hield go, I do understand that he is an unrestricted free agent. He could just walk for free, and the 76ers' needs right now are more than just a veteran three-point shooter off the bench who could go ice cold for 5 games and get hot at the right time. But, yeah, they need a defensive wing, man. They need not a wing, really. They need a defensive power forward. Is Dorian Finney-Smith a small forward or power forward? In today's NBA, I'm calling him a stretch 4, and I think still that's their main target. But there's the Buddy Hield stuff. So I would expect to see Buddy Hield gone, over to Golden State. Now, let me prepare myself for this, okay? My friends over at Liberty Line. Well, first of all, you wouldn't believe, how many damn comments I got yesterday and have been getting about bringing Ben Simmons back to Philadelphia. And people are typing this out, and they're being 100% serious. They're typing in my comments every day, we need to bring Ben Simmons back. What in the actual fuck are you guys talking about? I mean, look, if you didn't watch Ben Simmons in Philadelphia and you didn't watch the end of his tenure in Philadelphia, if you were born motherfucking yesterday, then fine. I get it, because you have no clue what you're talking about. That's fine. There's no way you watched Ben Simmons in Philadelphia and watched the end of the Ben Simmons era in Philadelphia and watched him completely clam up and fold on the court and then refuse to come back because he was terrified of the fan base and then sue the Philadelphia 76ers for fining him for not showing up to work. The guy is a loser. And he's a scared little baby, and you watched it for 5 years. No. There's no way anybody that watched that happen thinks this is an actual good idea. There's just no way. It has to only be 11-year-old NBA fans on Twitter, okay? But then my good friends at Liberty Line, now look, I'm going to cut Victor some slack here because Victor is mostly a Philadelphia Eagles content creator who sometimes jumps into Sixers talk, and I get it. It's the offseason for the Eagles, and you want to get some views on your website. I understand it. I do the same thing with my YouTube channel, bro. But no. All right, so Victor's saying, they need to bring Ben Simmons back. I'm like, listen, no, but also, you're an Eagles podcast. I get it. You're just reaching out here to get some interaction. Okay? But then Drew, who is also the co-owner of the Liberty Line, puts out an actual article titled, "Make no mistake about it, the Philadelphia 76ers' ideal option at power forward is Ben Simmons on a buyout from the Brooklyn Nets." Now, these guys are my friends at Liberty Line. And so I don't want to insult people over sports opinions, you know? And I say all the time, people need to learn how to have sports discussions without insulting people, you know, without immediately saying, you don't know ball, you don't know what you're talking about, shut the fuck up, etc. But this is drawing the line for me. This is... no, it's not even drawing the line, bro. This is across the line. The line was drawn in the sand, and you're jumping over the line. So you're putting me in a position where I have to speak on this, and what I say about your article is probably not going to be nice. So let me preface it with saying I love you guys. And I would like to believe that the only reason you wrote this stupid article is for clickbait. And so have some goddamn dignity, all right? Do I put stuff out here intentionally to get views on YouTube? Yeah, I do. But the thing is, when you click on my videos, I'm 100% real every single time I speak, and I would never say something that I don't actually believe. I would never say something that I don't actually believe. That's what dignity is. I'm sorry, guys, but writing an article with this headline is clickbait, and it's not dignity. You know exactly what you're doing with that. There's no fucking way you believe what you typed on this headline. So my response, the guy played 56 games in 3 years. You guys are really showing how little you pay attention to the NBA with this. And Drew says, you didn't even read the article if you're quote tweeting the amount of games Ben Simmons has played over the last 3 seasons as something that shows I don't pay attention to basketball, Eastwood. Be better. So I say I would never in a million years read this article, Drew. Be better. And you know what? I was going to read the article on here, live on this, but I don't need to, bro. There's nothing you could say inside this article that makes this headline make sense. There's nothing you can say. So I'm not clicking on it. I'm not reading the article. I'm not giving you what you want, which is here's how sports writing is nowadays, right? There's a headline that's like, hey, click here and find out why I'm saying this. And then you click on it because you're like, there's no way this person thinks this. And then you read it and add here, add there, add there. Website makes money. That was the goal. His actual goal is not to tell you why Ben Simmons should play for the Philadelphia 76ers again. And I know it for a fact. So I'm not clicking on it, Drew. Fuck you. Keep that loser so far away from my basketball team, we don't even ever see his face again. And I love you guys. But that's fucking bullshit, and you know it. Tell me I'm wrong. I'm out.